All right, so we're going to get started. As you guys have more questions that come up as the class goes on, feel free to drop those questions into the chat and then we will cover them. But today we are going to be talking about the ins and outs of Canva. So fun. So what we're going to cover is what is Canva? How can Canva be useful to your business? Canva, the free version versus Canva Pro. And then the exciting Keller Williams times Canva like announcement that just happened a few weeks ago. And then how to use Canva. So first, what is Canva? So Canva is actually an Australian brand, and it was designed for companies to help with like graphic design platforms, creating social media graphics, postcards, presentations, promotional materials, all things like that. And it actually launched in 2013, which is kind of crazy because I didn't even hear about Canva or like know what it was until my junior year of college, which was like 2022. So Canva's been around for a very long time, but I think within the past like 5 years or so, it's really blown up and so many more people have been using it, which is great. Um, so Canva does offer you, it's like a free design tool for individuals and companies, and it offers you so many different templates and things for you to edit your photos and videos and make it a visually appealing graphic. So, just some small little facts about Canva. Is that the monthly users are 220 million plus, which is crazy. They have 30 billion different design creation options within their platform. 190 countries use it and 100 plus languages, which is so cool because this platform is just getting used worldwide, which is amazing.
And just to add on to your point a little bit more, I
Madeline, do you want
think,
me to take this one?
oh, that's up to you. I was just gonna add a little bit more that it's super like Canva really came into the scene because if you wanted to do more graphic design things, you had to use like Adobe Suite. And Adobe's pretty expensive. I think for the whole suite, it's around $100, and it's really hard to manipulate things. Like there aren't lots of templates, and you really have to know, you have to have a little bit of a graphic design background. So Canva is just such an amazing tool to use if you have zero background in graphic design. Like all of the platform is super user friendly and all of the templates are just really awesome. So just a plug for why it's better than other things to use. How can Canva be useful to your business? Canva can be incredibly useful to your business in 5 ways. We have consistent branding, professional looking marketing materials, time and cost efficiency, as well as team collaboration. Canva makes it super easy to keep your branding unified across all materials. So if you have a brand kit, it sets your logos, your colors, the fonts that you use, and even certain templates. Like, for example, in our marketing concierge, all of the business cards are templates, and we just click on it and then manipulate it to specific people. So if you have your brand kit set, the consistency of these marketing materials builds trust with your audience. It strengthens your brand recognition across all platforms and mediums. So if your Instagram posts look like your little business cards, which look like the posters that you put out, everyone knows, oh, it's this agent, it's you. Professional looking materials. So you can create high quality graphics for social media, email campaigns. We do a lot of flyers and business cards printed out of there, as well as the just sold postcards. Um, the printing is pretty reasonable, I feel like, and it ships within a week or so. They say 2 weeks, but I really feel like we don't wait that long for it. And that's all built into Canva with all of the prices. You can kind of scroll through and it's super easy to access. And Canva also has a huge library of stock photos. So if you don't have your own photos, or if something just doesn't feel right, you can always look through and find something because Canva has everything. Time and cost efficiency, there's no need to hire a designer for every small task. It's nice that we have the marketing concierge because in a way we're kind of like your designer, but you can design it yourself on Canva too. I highly, highly, highly suggest going in and playing around. And that's the best way you're going to be able to learn and use this platform. You can save a lot of time with their magic resize. So let's say you make an Instagram post, but then you also want to make it a flyer. You can kind of change the size and all of your elements stay the same, but it just gets bigger or smaller or horizontal. And then lastly, Canva's cool because anyone can work on the document. For example, this presentation, Bella and I worked on it together. Like I was typing on one page and she was typing on another. You can leave comments, you can share designs. So it's super easy to collaborate. It's all hosted in the cloud, so it all saves automatically. And you can use it on the go. They have an app, so really accessible from anywhere. And just a quick little overview of Canva Free versus Canva Pro. Um, as you see in this little graph, like you get a lot of templates on Canva, but there's just even more templates on Canva Pro. All of these buttons are kind of your pro items. Anything that has that little crown is strictly reserved for Canva Pro. I think the thing that I use the most with Pro is background remover. So in the beginning of the slide, I think you saw the picture of Bella and I. That was two different pictures. We removed the background and then we put them together. So that's probably what I use the most in Canva Pro. And then the brand kit is really nice as well, keeping things consistent, being able to grab logos. And then for videos, I'd say majority of the videos are also pro features, so another big plus to it. And it's reasonable. It's only $13 or $12.99 a month, which is really reasonable. But I think with the KW merger, you like it's going to have the pro features, but you won't have to pay for it. So that'll be something to look forward to.
All right, so with the Keller Williams merger, anyone obviously can use Canva, but Keller Williams affiliates and agents will have access to customized real estate focused Canva templates, which is so huge. And the nice thing about it is that it's going to be integrated into your command accounts. So it's also going to have that MLS integration as well into it. So you're going to be able to seamlessly create and develop different marketing materials right from your listing pipeline. I have this video that we are going to watch. Okay.
Keller Williams and Canva. We're bringing together the best in real estate and design. At Keller Williams, we believe real estate agents should work with best-in-class technology. Together with Canva, we're reimagining real estate marketing. Our flagship enterprise relationship with Keller Williams brings you the world's best tools to make design and marketing effortless.
Premium KW branded graphics make creating high impact content faster and easier than ever.
This is not just about templates. We're building a bespoke experience for Keller Williams that gives their market centers and agents way more creativity. With Canva's design-driven platform, the power of KW Command, and the insight of KW agents, we're providing cutting-edge technology built by agents for agents.
We're building an intuitive Keller Williams experience, making it easier than ever for agents to create beautiful, effective content without switching platforms or missing a beat.
We know design isn't just about how things look, it's about how they work. With Canva, you're in control of your brand. Whether it's a reel, whether it's a postcard or a listing video, every agent now has the power to stand out with confidence.
We're inspired to work with a company that cares deeply about people. It's part of our culture too.
From the first click,
To the final post,
together,
we're making design and marketing.
faster, easier, and 100% Keller Williams.
Right. So that's super exciting. It's going to be getting integrated into your command accounts beginning of first quarter or of quarter three at the beginning of quarter three. Sorry, my words are getting tied. Um, but this is going to be really helpful because it's going to have all of the KW branding in what's going to be your brand kit through that command account. So you're going to have lots of tools and different resources for you to utilize just right at your fingertips, which is great.
And really quickly, just another thing to add. We don't know 100% what it's going to look like. So when it does drop, we'll definitely have another talk about it. And Lindsay or one of us will probably do another, like, what does Canva look like through Keller Williams? I think also from my understanding is we'll be able to create kind of brand kits and be able to push them out to you. Sorry, I don't mean brand kits, I mean templates. So you'll be able to see what we've created for you and you can manipulate them as well, which I think is super cool because people seem to like the open house and the flyers that we have made. So we'll be able to push them out to y'all and you'll be able to manipulate them, which is cool.
Great. So now what we are going to do is go into Canva and kind of just start creating something so that we're able to show you all the different tools that you are going to have available to you. So what you would just do, I'll just retype it in, is just canva.com. And then this will pop up and this is going to be your landing page. So this is where you're going to be able to find all the different tools that you're able to use right at the top, as well as the different tools on the side. The ones I mainly use will be the home page because that's what it comes up to. The create button, where it's going to give me different size graphics that I'll be able to make, or I can customize a size. And then I also use the projects tab a lot because this is where lots of different projects that I've been working on and working with other people on can be housed. So for example, like Red Day, I'm pretty sure these were the ones from last year, but this is like, there's a couple of us in this little folder that are using it all at the same time. But we are going to make a social media post today for an open house. So there's different ways that you can go about finding a template, or if you want to create your own template, you can also do that. A lot of the times I like to find my own template or find a template through Canva and then merge it and kind of create it to be my own. So what I would do would be open house real estate. And then search, and I don't want it to have my designs. I want it to be templates. Because if you search it in your designs, it'll start pulling up things that you already have. So these are it's gonna now come up with a whole bunch of different templates that I am able to use. You can scroll for honestly hours on this of trying to find different templates. So I would say my recommendation is just finding one that you like and just running with it. The more you scroll, the more that they're all just gonna start looking similar to each other. So find one that really speaks to you and then just go with it right away. So I actually liked one up here. I'm gonna go with this one and I'm going to customize the template. So it's going to come up looking like this. And this is the one that they have pre-generated for us already. A lot of the time, I like to just make a duplicate of this so that I'm able to just work from a new one, but still have a good reference of what the original one looks like. So how you're going to do that is there's going to be these three little dots on the photo. So if you click on that, it's going to give you a drop down of a whole bunch of different things. So copy, paste, add pages, resize pages. I want to duplicate page. So I would just click that and it would make a second one for me. Now is when I would go in and start kind of making it look like something that is my own. So I would delete these photos because these are not like any of the photos that I'm going to be using. And then I would start pulling in my own photos. I just have these all on my desktop, so they'll be able to just go right into your downloads or uploads folder of your Canva account. And then I would just click it and be like, okay, I want this photo to go here. I would like this one to go in this little thing. And then here's another thing. If you double click on the image, this is how you're going to be able to slide it up or down. So obviously, this little square is not the correct size for the photo. So I would have to scroll up and down to get it to kind of picture what I'm wanting it to take a look like. And then I'll pull this one in. And then this one as well. Now that I have it looking how I want it to look with my own photos, then this is when I'll be able to go in and start changing the colors. So I'm not really a fan of the blue. I don't think the blue looks good with this photo. So I would click on the blue, and then up here, it's going to give you the option to change the colors of it. So if you click on that, you're going to be able to scroll through and like see all of these colors. But the nice thing is, with our photos already in this document, it's going to give us colors that will kind of go along with the same vibe that the photos are giving. So I am kind of liking this color, so I'm going to change it to that one. And then I'm able to just click on this and change it to that one as, oop, that's not the same color. That one, that's still not the same color. And then click on that and change it to that color as well. So now they're all the same color, which is nice because it's still kind of playing off the same theme with the colors of the bedroom. I am going to also change the fonts. So I like how the welcome to is there, but I don't like this font right here. So I want to change that. What you'll do is you'll click on that, and then up here, it'll have the different font options. You can click on the different font options, and yet again, Canva gives you a bajillion options, so you'd be able to just continuously scroll. But these are some of the recommended fonts, and then some of my recently used fonts, as well as my brand kit fonts. So these are the ones that are going to be already uploaded into our Keller Williams Milwaukee brand kit. So I am going to use these so that they fit the vibe of our Keller Williams Milwaukee logo. So I'm going to change it to that. And now I'm not really the biggest fan of how this is looking with this one. So I'm going to go in there and change that as well. The fun thing about text on Canva is that you're able to add like kind of animations or make them look a little different. So like, as you can see with this open house one, there's an effect on it. So if you click effects, you'll be able to go through and see all these different options that it's going to give you. So shadow or lift, and it'll make it like hollow. There's just a whole bunch of different options that you'll be able to utilize to make the post more your own. The one that is currently on this is going to be the curved effect. So this is what it looks like without the curve effect, but if you add the curve effect, you'll be able to kind of edit it to be as curved as you want it to be. So I think I want it like that. And then I'm going to bring it up. Now I'm going to remove that. And on here, I'm going to add the date, or yes, the date of the open house. So we're going to do June 13th, 2026. And then I'm also going to add the address. So the address is going to go right down here. So we're going to do, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, Hello Drive. And then this is where you're going to be able to input your own website. So whatever website you have, we are going to just do www.kwrealtymke.com. And then you'll just be able to go through and start personalizing it all to be your own. some things to note. So on the side, that's the design tool. So if you're like, okay, I really like how this one looks, but I also want to maybe create another one to see if it's going to look like better than this one, you can go over to design and still go through, and it's still going to have all those real estate templates up for you. And you can be like, oh, okay, I kind of like how this one looks. So you just add a new page. It'll still keep your original one. You just create it right here, but then it'll give you the option to do this one, and then you'll be able to go through and start editing these. Other things to note are going to be the Elements tab. So this will be really nice if you want to kind of like, let's say you want to have open house. It'll come up with some graphics, some photos, videos, frames, some audios, all of these kind of things that will be helpful for you. So like if we go back to this one, you can say, oh, okay, I like this. And then you'll be able to add this little graphic right onto your design. So I'm going to delete that and delete that. And then do something like this. So there's tons of different graphics that you'll be able to go through. Some will be free with the like basic version of Canva. Others you'll have to have the pro version, and it'll tell you in the corners, it'll say like this image you have to have pro, but like this one you don't have to have pro, so you can just add it right onto there. Other things are going to be photos. So let's say you want to kind of just do a promotion like open house post, but you don't want to have the actual photos on. If you make a new tab, you could click on this image, and then if you use your two fingers to click down on it, you'll be able to set this image as the background then. So then you'd be able to do this and then have in the comments of this post be like open house at, and then list all the open houses that you'd be having this week at. Other things will be videos. So they'll give you a whole bunch of videos that you'd be able to use to make different reels or Instagram stories with. We can go into that too and kind of talk through how you make videos on Canva. It's very simple, but it just takes a little bit of time. Next thing that you'll have the option to do are these frames. So a frame is going to be something that you can put right on the paper, but then you'll also be able to drag and drop your photos into it. So if you go to uploads, and that's where all your photos you uploaded were, if you click on one and you just drag it right onto the little housing, then that photo is now in the house icon, which you'd be able to kind of do other things with. So like you can have it right here and then have it say, oops, in house type of thing, and then bring it up here to have the open house little sign. Okay, back to elements. So the different audios you'll be able to use for when you're making videos, it kind of will give you suggested ones based on what your graphic is looking like. So it'll sometimes give you ones that say like spring, or sometimes it'll give you ones that say upbeat. This one is saying open house because that's what I looked up. So just keep that in mind. The next little tab on this sidebar is going to be the text tab. So this is where you'll be able to add text boxes. So it's going to give you a heading, a subheading, and a body already. But if you scroll down, it's going to give you some fun font combinations. So this is really nice because if you're not really sure what fonts to use, sometimes this is like my least favorite part of creating things, is trying to create the fonts and pick which font to use. So this is nice because it's giving you some combinations already that look good together, and then you don't have to click through and try to figure out which ones look nice. So we will go and do that. So I like how this one looks. You'll pull it up here and then you're going to be able to edit it. So these are already grouped together. So what you'd have to do is ungroup them, and then you'd be able to type in it. So open, and then you'd be able to regroup them once you're done typing it. How you regroup is if you click down and drag, it's going to highlight both of these purple boxes. Once you're done highlighting them, you'll let go, and then it's going to give you this option down here to group. Once they're grouped, you'll be able to move them freely around the page and not have to like move one and then move the other one type of thing. So it just makes it nice because then they're always going to be aligned. Okay, next thing on here is going to be the brand kit. So the brand kit is only available to you with Canva Pro. We're unsure if it's going to be available when we get the Canva times Keller Williams integration. It might be based on some of the promotional material that we have seen. It's probably going to have some Keller Williams branding in its brand kit, but this is what our brand kit looks like. So you're able to upload your own logos into there so that they're easily accessible. So you just be able to click it and it'll show up right on your screen. The other things is that it has our colors. So you'll be able to see all and see that these are the colors that we mainly use, and those are our branding colors. So you'll be able to have your own colors in there. It'll give you the font, subheading, and body. I know in our marketing Canva account that we have all of our Keller Williams fonts in there as well. So you'll be able to add in your personalized fonts based on like what your logo looks like or which fonts you're wanting to use for all of your marketing material, which will be nice. Next is going to be that uploads file. You saw when I was just dragging and dropping it into the photo that it would automatically upload onto here, but you'd also be able to upload just right from clicking on the uploads tab and be able to go through and click like, okay, I want to upload this one. And then it will do the exact same thing. Next will be projects. So these are just it's kind of gonna look like what it looked like on the home page where it was giving you like the different folders that I had and some images and videos as well. And as well as different designs that are frequently used, that I frequently use. So those are gonna be the main drop downs on that left-hand side that are being utilized. Yes, okay. Sorry, I was trying to catch my thought. Next is going to be the drop down on top. So this is going to be kind of when you're going through and editing, and it kind of plays a lot into the fonts. So if you're clicking on the font, you'll be able to change the font type right here, as well as the size. You'll be able to go through and select colors, and yet again, it gives you those photo colors. So we can maybe make this more similar to what the photo looks like. You'd be able to bold and unbold with that, italicize, underline, strike through, all of those kind of things. Something that I do like is a lot of the time when I'm copying and pasting some text into Canva, let's see if there's any on here. These are all lowercase. Sometimes when I copy and paste text from like the MLS into Canva, it'll come up all uppercase. And you might not want it to be all uppercase. So what you would just have to do is highlight it all and then click that button. And then it would do the correct lowercase and uppercase letters, which is nice. This is going to align your text. So let's say your text right now is they're all centered. If you just click on both of them and then it would align it based on which way you want it. Obviously, this one looks better centered just based on where the open is compared to the house, but that is something you can also play around with. This will just give you little bullet points. This will kind of play with your line spacing. So if you want it to be closer together or not as close together, that's how you'd be able to play with it. This, I've actually never played around with this tab before, but I think it's just going to make the font size different, as you can see. This is a fun little tool to use. So let's say we're going back to this page when we have our open house sign, but we think it's a little too bold and we want to make it more transparent. This is where you'll be able to go and play with the transparency of the image. So if you want to make it lighter or if you want to make it more bright, that's how you'd be able to do that. Something that I found I've used this transparency a lot for is if we're making like a text and then just have overlay underneath it that has our logos on it. This is really easy to do with like, okay, let's say we have our KW logo. We would just center it right in the middle of the page for whatever size we want. And then you'd be able to play with the transparency. So making it a little lighter. That way, then when you have text, you'd be able to just type right over it. And then you'd still be able to kind of see what it looks like having it the KW in the background. This is kind of nice if you're wanting to print off stationery or other things along those lines. You'd be able to have your own logo kind of transparent in the background of that stationery. Okay, next will be those effects. We kind of talked about this and the different things that you'll be able to do with the effects for the letters or the words on your page. So like, I kind of think that looks kind of nice. So keep it like that. Animations. So this is going to be, I use animations a lot when we're making videos. It's gonna kind of be how the words come onto the screen. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of different options. You'll also be able to do this, and then when you download it, it will come out more as like a video, and then you'd be able to post it as like an Instagram reel or Instagram story, even though it is just like a photo. That's nice. And you'll be able to play around with like the speed of it, like how fast it goes, the movement of it, as well as the direction that it's coming in. And then next will be the position. So we will be able to go through and be like, okay, let's say this house is in front, and you're like, oh, I want that to go to the back. You'll be able to click move to back, and it'll move those words to the back of the image. Okay. Madeleine, I will stop scaring my screen, and then if you want to go into what you are going to cover related to Canva.
Yes. So I saw a few comments in there talking about videos, and I am gonna go through a little bit of video stuff. Let's see, I still see your screen.
I can't.
Technical difficulties. I think it's up at the top.
Why am I so confused? Okay, we're just gonna exit out right here. Why can't I figure this out?
Wait, maybe I can.
Wait, I found it.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, I will switch to my screen now. Oh Lord, sorry, did not clean it up before this. Sorry. Suddenly there's 7 million things on my screen. Hold on, pardon. Okay. Go away. Canva. So I can't remember which one I made it in, so bear with me here. So I'm gonna go through our Real Trends verified video. This is a video that I think I posted it on Tuesday, so you might have seen it on Instagram. I, like Bella, started with sorry, let me go back out. When I'm on Canva, typically I don't like to start a reel without some form of like brand template. So I'll go to Instagram Reel, and then I'll go to design. And even if I don't like what's happening, I just kind of like to have an idea of animations or something to use. For me, just looking at a blank screen can be extremely intimidating. So I will go through these templates and just see. Sometimes they'll have multiple pages. This one has, as you can see, it has 2 pages, so you can apply both pages and it'll come across as its own animation, and then it'll flip to the next page. Yep. So that's just a basic one. When I was doing our Real Trends one, I started with just one singular page and went from there. When you start with a reel, you just kind of throw words and you throw pictures on there. And it's really in this editing format where things come to life. So when I hover over this, you can see that it's 3 seconds. You can also see up here that it's 3.2 seconds, technically speaking. And this is where you can either make it longer or you can make it shorter. And there's also up here auto trim highlights. So if you like, AI will kind of take over and be like, I think that this looks the best, and I think you should have it for 5.4 seconds. So if you're kind of confused on, oh, is this long enough for an intro or is it short enough? AI is here to help you. You can also change the speed of it. Sometimes you want it to go faster with the background or slow it down. That's always an option in this video. Down here, you can also change the size of it. As you can see, this is a 10-second clip versus these guys are only 5 seconds. So they're gonna have a little bit smaller of a space. If it's too much for you to look at it like that, you can click on this duration button right here, and it'll split it up just by page. So that way you have more time to edit versus when you're looking at this small little screen, it can be kind of hard. You can also take your fingers and like zoom in a little bit, and it'll change the timing so that you can see these pages better. All just tips and tricks to make it easier for you to see. And you can also move it like this if you need more space to kind of edit in here. I wish that they could make this part a little bit bigger, but it only gets, the seconds only change instead of the pictures getting bigger. So back to this main first page. I'll split the screen a little bit more so you can see it. So when you first add a page, it's just going to be a stagnant page. So I needed to add this background. I think when I was up here, I looked up, here, I'll take this away. I was back here and I looked up background and I double clicked it and I set the video as a background. Because this clip is 14 seconds long, up here you can see it says 15 seconds, it's automatically going to play that video. And if you want to adjust the time, again, you got to come back in here. For the font and the words that I have on here, super easy to use. You go up to text and you'll add a heading. And you can put whatever you want in this heading. And I always suggest making it pretty big just so that everyone can see it. As you can see down here, my text doesn't have any animation. So when the video starts, it's automatically going to be pulled up. And it's going to, I won't play it because the music's pretty loud. But when it goes through, my name is just going to stay there the whole entire time. In order to add animation to it, you have to click on the specific element that you want to animate and go up to this little animate button. There are a lot of suggestions that you can use. When making a video, I would suggest probably sticking with 1, maybe 2. If you end up using too many animations all at once, it starts to get a little confusing and a little all over the place, and your eyes are kind of like, where am I supposed to be looking? So I'm going to use blur for my name. And then you can animate it both on the entrance or just on the exit or just on the on both of them. You can change the speed, you can change it by character. If you had a longer sentence, you could do it by the word or the line or the element. So all options for you to even more customize when it comes onto the screen. Let's go with both, and I'm going to do it by character. I don't want my name to come up the second that this video starts. I want it to come up after it's that time of year. So these two come up right at the start of this video. That's all aligned up here. So I'm going to take my name and I'm going to drag it, and I want it to come in maybe 3 seconds after this clip has started. So it'll play, and then at the 3 second mark, my name will start appearing. And that's how you get a different animation and to get it to look like it's a movie, even though you're technically just manipulating one singular text, which is really nice. We have a little transition in here. So when you go from this page to this page, it's very hard to tell because we're just using black and white background. But the transition that we have is a dissolve transition. To make it more obvious, we could have done a slide or a wipe or really any of these. That's a cool one. Keep it that way. Again, for these transitions, I would try to keep it to the same transition or maybe two max. If you start to use more transitions, it starts to get a little confusing and your flow gets a little messed up. If you put your little line over here, sometimes as you saw, it'll show both screens. That's a normal little, not to say glitch, but it'll happen sometimes because you're right in between the two. So it'll kind of get confused. So if that ever happens, just like move your mouse a little bit and it'll correct itself. Let's see. So every good video has audio. Down here, you can see the track that we've chosen. If I go and click on it, you can double click on it and you can move the track around. Sometimes, depending on the video, I like to have like a beat drop when specific information comes. So you can, I wish you could zoom in more on this, but there's little spikes and stuff which tells you where the beat is. So you can kind of align that with your video starting. I've done videos before where every time the beat dropped, the picture changed. So this is how you kind of align yourself with this. In Elements, this is where you would search for songs. So I'm going to do hip hop dance beat. And then you would see audio. And there's hundreds of video or of music that you can choose from. They even have stuff like we were looking up Hosier. Like they have more current artists as well, which is really cool. So like Dua Lipa's on here. You do have to have a pro, but I think that with this new Canva and Keller Williams that we will have access to some pro features like songs. I have a strong feeling. But if not, this is what the pro feature gives you. And I think we chose Seahorse. So that's where we came across with this song. I'm trying to think if I'm missing any. Oh, this button right here. Yes, the beat sync button. So your pages and elements will automatically be timed to the music. So if you have a catchy song and you wanted the pictures to change, AI will kind of help you out. And if my computer is not too loud, you can see it like skips to the music. Some songs are better than others, but just an example. There's also options to fade the music. So let's say you wanted to have a voiceover, but you also wanted music to be in there. You can have it fade in the beginning and then fade out at the end. You can adjust the sound of it all. Like if you wanted it, if that was too loud, we can make it quieter. Yeah. And then you can also split the audio. So let's say you liked the audio for this part, but you didn't like this chunk of audio. You could take it out and then put a different piece of audio in here. There's just a bunch of tools to use. They try to make it as easy as possible. Video editing can be a little intense because of all of the nuances behind it, but I feel like Canva does a pretty good job of having it all out there. Let's Let's see, am I missing anything else when it comes to video editing, Bella?
I think you tackled it pretty well. Next week, we are actually having Charlie Walker on to talk about his video editing and how he goes about making his posts or like his reels and stuff. So I bet he'll have a lot more things to say about video editing in regards to like Canva or what other like apps that he uses.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess I have one more thing to touch on. So let's say that you created an Instagram story, like you just wanted this first page to be your Instagram story. So I created this whole reel, but I only want this first page as like a teaser. So if I come up to this little share button and I'm going to download it, it has the option. So if you wanted the whole video, you're obviously going to select page 1 through 51, but I only want this first page. So I'm going to select it as page number 1. It's really critical that you have it as MP4 video. If you're creating anything animated or a video, Canva will automatically make your file type a video because they know like you want the animations to play. So you could download it as that. Let's say you just wanted to download this as a picture. You could come up here and save it as a PNG, and it's just going to save as this screenshot right here. It won't play, it won't have any animation. And it'll tell you to like, careful, like your animations won't play if you export as this file as this type. So that's just another good thing to know. And Canva again will warn you like, hey, we know it's a video, so download it as a video. And I think that's all I have. Let me just, can you see the comments, Bella, and see if we touched on all the questions too?
Okay, we touched on that. Your current folders or files and brand fonts, colors, etc. merging. Um, are you talking about when it merges with the new Keller Williams like thing with Canva or just in general? Could you just explain a little bit more? All your kits, yes. So I don't think that we have enough information yet about the Keller Williams integration of Canva into Command. But from my understanding of it is that they're going to have it's going to be like in the designs tab of your Command account. So it's going to integrate like different listings you have and things along those lines. I think you will be able to pull in your logos and colors, but don't quote me and stay tuned because we all we have is the little like drop that just came out. So if Madeline, what do you think?
I don't know. The way that it was kind of explained to us is that you're going to get Canva through your or Command account. It doesn't sound like you're going to have an actual Canva login. Like the only way you'd be able to access Canva was through Command. I could be wrong about that. Um, but that does make it seem like you wouldn't be able to connect your personal Canva account to the Command. That would be cool. But I think, unfortunately, you're probably gonna have to download all of your assets and upload them into your brand kit in Command.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense.
Can I just chime in really quick?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, so more details to come. We really don't have those specifics quite yet in terms of how exactly it's going to be integrated into Command and like if it's pro and what features are going to be included. We just know that there are going to be Keller Williams templates included with all of the other Canva templates that you would have normally. So more details to come. Just kind of hang tight until we get those, and that'll be shared immediately with everybody once we have more information.
Perfect. Thank you. Uh, okay. Let's see. When working with an open house video you recorded on your phone, is there a file size limit to import it into Canva? I don't think so. I've never had an issue with uploading videos into Canva that are like large videos. So I think you would be fine uploading open house videos, Kathleen, and being able to edit them right there. I don't think you'll get a pop-up being like, this file's too large.
Yeah, I would agree with that because a lot of the Canva Pro videos can be up to 5 minutes long and they're pretty high quality videos. So I don't think that there should be a restriction on the file size. And also, if you use the app, it makes it super easy to import it and then you can edit it on your computer. So that's a nice feature.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for putting questions in the chat. It makes it so much more interactive. But yeah, thanks for jumping on. I hope you guys learned something, and we're always here to help with whatever questions you may have regarding Canva. Next week, we're actually not having class because we are off for Juneteenth, but the following week, stay tuned, jump in and listen because Charlie Walker will be talking about Reels and all of the fabulous things he does on social media. So, yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining today.
Play around with Canva.